Hello, hello, hello. I am live. I am here, and I am glad to be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your spirit in human form, Mark Angela Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and happy to be here this Thursday, May 14th, and we are now officially in Jupiter retrograde, adding to the Venus retrograde that went down yesterday and the Saturn retrograde that happened on Monday. So yeah, we're going through it a bit. I mean, I can look back and see if we're in other retrogrades. I have a feeling we are. Yeah, Pluto went retrograde last month, I'm pretty sure. So while I'm waiting for... Hello, Donald. Good morning, Don. Just checking some astrological statistics here. I just have a feeling. Yes, and we are in Pluto retrograde as well since the 25th of April. So that's Pluto, Saturn, Venus, and now Jupiter. Now, do keep in mind, planets don't travel backwards. That would be an astronomical calamity. They just appear to, right? Optical illusion type stuff. So wanted to talk about the Jupiter one today for a little bit, asking a golden question inspired by the book. Everything is Here to Help You by Matt Kahn, because, you know, I'm very pro-Kahn. Madeline, Chaka, and now Matt Kahn. I'm very pro. That, you know, I do go through my phases with different spiritual teachers because I am a spiritual teacher, and we are all spiritual teachers. It's just, what are we teaching? Remember, we teach mostly by example. But then I think passing along what works for you, what heals you, what helps you, what guides you, what inspires you is also part of what being a spiritual teacher is about. And right now at the moment, I am dealing with some shoulder issues, pinching something in my neck, fighting off a tad of a spinal subluxation induced migraine, but nothing that a little Alka-Seltzer with Bayer aspirin and a little yoga won't fix. So I'm okay. Making some changes to the way that I am operating my YouTube channel as well. Part of this Jupiter retrograde, finally got in touch with my webmaster for my drawingthecircle.com website. There are some glitches there that haven't been fixed because he's been really busy. Talk about essential businesses. He's been helping people set up working from home for months. So I text messaged him today just to say, you know, let me know when we can talk and get some stuff done. Send me a bill if I owe you anything. We'll get that paid because, you know, if I'm in the arrears, I could understand where I'm not at the top of his list. But there you have it. Good morning, Donna. How are you, sweetheart? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm in the room a little bit early today. It is just 11 a.m. where I am now. We'll schmooze for a little bit. 11 a.m. We'll make our wish because why not? We'll say a prayer. We'll talk about this Jupiter retrograde and a golden question, and then we'll do a little meditation about that, particularly because the golden question is not something that the ego is going to like, nor can the ego answer. The answer comes from the soul. So expect to be a little triggered by the question. It is a triggery question, no question, right? Good morning, Grace. Good morning, good morning. Should I get a bottle of water? Let me get a bottle of water. Be right back. I'm literally just walking into my kitchen. Hold on, hold on. Give me a bottle of water. Because as much as I love my Alka-Seltzer, it is my drug of choice. It does have enough salt in it that could dehydrate me. Flyaway. I don't want to be dehydrated. Just to think of what that does to the skin. This Saturn retrograde, my boss hasn't sent me new work to do since the weekend. Has me a little worried about money. Trying to stay positive about it. Well, that's the Saturn retrograde. Now we're in Jupiter retrograde, which we're going to talk about. And Jupiter can have a lot to do with money and prosperity. And that it's happening, I mean, just sometimes being a witch is a bit of a pain in the hiney because you know too much. And the ego can really run with it in a way that's not the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, or wisest way to go. But if you know the Latin languages, what is the day, the name of the day for Thursday? Well, I know the French version, jeudi, Jupiter's day. So it's a little on the nose symbolically for my tastes. I like a little abstractness with my symbolism, astrologically or otherwise. So for Jupiter to go retrograde on a day of expansion, a day of abundance, like a Thursday, makes an interesting portend. I will say that. But we're going to reevaluate a little bit of this stuff. Good morning, Malenka, my darling. You're divine. Isn't Malenka divine? She's divine, that Malenka. We are going to talk about this because I did a little research, and I really, at this point, I'm looking for silver linings where I can find them. And interestingly enough, that's sort of what today's chat is about in general, sort of almost accidentally. You'll forgive me if I massage and rotate my shoulder. I've got a little bit of a shoulder tension thing going on here. That's as a result of something going on in my lower back, you know, compensation. And so it's going up here and it's pulling something out and it's pinching something in my cervical vertebrae and it's going. That's the noise it makes. I can hear it. So a little yoga, a little rest, a little whatever. I'll be fine. Oh, I mean, I would love to get a massage, but I'm not letting anybody in my house, let alone touch me during this time of, you know, the crown thing. Oh, is that a way we can talk about it? The crown thing. You know, yes. Yeah. I mean, look at the connection between what's going on in the crown chakra, right? It's like if people aren't taking the opportunity to kind of open up their crown chakra is unity consciousness. That's what we're shooting for. That might be the only thing that's going to get us through this in a sane way. Just saying. Just saying. So I hope you are all well. I already did about 10 minutes of yoga today because now it's like my body's saying, okay, you put off the yoga. It's time. It's time. The time has come to lip sync for your life. Or at least to do yoga to loosen up your shoulder so you don't have to deal with cervical migraine all day long. And that's why I can't take meds for it, because it wouldn't matter. I'd just be putting chemicals in my body that don't need to be there. It's not traditional migraine. That's my story. And I've got Zeus on the table because Zeus is Jupiter and he's wearing his sigillite necklace that was made for me by Liz Valentine. I posted her Facebook page, artist Liz Valentine, to the group. I've known her since 1990. She was like 18 years old when I started teaching her the angel stuff. I'm going to be putting out the angel meditations eventually. But if you have been following my channel, you know, here's something really weird about YouTube. Like, I know I've been putting out quality work, like doing these streams and doing the readings and stuff. The upload times have been ridiculous, but I don't really know if that's YouTube's fault. I just think everybody's online. So, you know, bandwidth is whatever. But my numbers keep going up and going down where I end up around the same every day. Like, I forget the number, but it's like I'll gain a bunch and then the next day it's back to the same number it was before I gained a bunch. So it's just weird. Now, Mari had said that she had been unsubscribed without her unsubscribing and that she watches me regularly. So please do check that you are subscribed to my channel because, you know, it affects the logarithm, the algorithm, whatever that is. The more people you subscribe, the more people get to see it who aren't subscribed, the more people who like, the more videos that are liked, the more people get to see the videos that are liked. So just help me get my work out there. You know, that if it's helping you, hopefully it will help other people. Had a migraine yesterday. They're really coming in full force lately. And I think that's part of us having to rethink things, which we will talk about. So yeah, it's a little disheartening, a little discouraging when you wake up in the morning. Like last night, I had. Oh, let me just check. Hold on. I can do this. I can do this. I'm on a laptop. I can do this. Like last night, I couldn't get to sleep. Yeah, I'm at 1,359. Last night, it was 1,361. So I lost 2 people overnight. And then I'm like, well, what content did I put out that somebody would find that offensive or whatever to unsubscribe? But if they're automatically unsubscribing people from the channels, because I don't know why, I need to know whether or not to take this personally. Now, I know we're not supposed to take anything personally. Thank you, Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 agreements, but it's when you're doing your best, it's a little disheartening. So so please have a look-see-dooksy if you can. Good morning, Des. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Because it's as my father would say, it feels like shoveling Shinola against the tide. Watching my language. Yeah. So if you can, please subscribe, right? If you haven't, and notice if you had previously subscribed and no longer are. That's interesting. Why would they be doing that? Why would they be doing that? I mean, they're making money off the ad revenue too. I don't understand. I don't understand, but whatever. I mean, I should really have a look at why my mood gets really high when the numbers go up and then my mood gets really low when the numbers go down. I mean, that's kind of conditional. But that's I'm a Virgo. There you go. Maybe I should just stop looking at the numbers. Which the other part of it is that I'm taking myself off this schedule. I've been posting at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. As soon as a video is ready to go, I'm releasing it. So if it posts at 3 a.m., it posts at 3 a.m. Hit the notification bell. Well, thank you, Malenka. Very, very thank you. Oh, bless your heart. $10 super chat. That's just stunning. I really do appreciate it. Just working my tush off here. And here's the other thing. My greatest confidants, I have a small handful of people that I confide in. My mother, one of them, but you know, I can't really confide in her in everything. I mean, do you tell your mother everything? You tell your mother everything. I love you too, sweetheart. That's very, very encouraging. But living alone is tricky. Now, by the way, I'd rather be living alone. Oh, hi, Colin. How you doing, sweetheart? It's good to see you. Hope you are well. Give my love to your mom. Living alone is tricky during this time we are going through on planet Earth, but I'd rather be living alone than in a codependent relationship during this time with all of these retrogrades, particularly Venus retrograde. No thanks. Hard pass. Yeah. If $1 makes you holler, what does 10 do? Well, I would take off my top, but then they would probably demonetize. And by the way, I only started doing the yoga again, so the boys, this is Tommy and this is Timmy, they're not as solid as they will be in a week or two. Because you know what? Doing yoga in the winter ain't fun. And I like doing it outside, so I did it outside on my deck today, and it was lovely. But what could I do for you? You know what I could do you for a $10? Malenka Divine? I will divine for you. My angels, gods, and goddesses, please, one card in clarity for Malenka for that $10 super chat that she gave me, please. A card for the day, for the week, just something for her to consider. Here you are, please. A goddess, god, or angel oracle card. Goddess of the sacred path. Let go of logic. Trust your intuition. She's pretty too. Goddess of the sacred path. Let go of logic. Follow your intuition. Oh, honey, 3 hours sleep. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I am so very, 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 very sorry. You know, I've had to sleep. I've just had to sleep. Good. Well, striving. I'm trying to move out of striving and into thriving. I really am. Like, I am working so hard. And I don't leave my house. And by the way, not just the YouTube work. Oh, it's 11:11. Make a wish. 11:11. Make a wish. 11:11. Make a wish. Here we go. So motivate. And so it is. There we go. Yeah, I have really been doing, that was a weird little icon that just popped up for no reason. I really have been doing not just the YouTube work, but a lot of inner work too. Being a master empath, which I think all y'all might want to start considering yourselves master empaths just because you're surviving this. I love this group so much. You are, thank you so much. I'm doing my best, and I really am good. I am good at creating groups, which is odd because I'm not tribal. I'm really not. I'm an orphan archetype from jump, right? We're not really tribal people if you have the orphan archetype, because we're forced to go our own way and find our own road, which I have ever been, right? Just the only gay kid in my family. I'm the only one with blue eyes in 2 generations in my family. Like, there's nobody with blue eyes. My paternal grandfather had blue eyes. I'm the only one. So I wouldn't call myself the redheaded stepchild, but I would call myself the purple-haired gay witch child in the family, so that I can actually bring people together with spirit, which is the corporate tagline motto of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Drawing the Circle Productions, bringing people together with spirit. It's what I do. And it is the divine hand, the hand of the gods, whatever, drawing together people. That's, a symbolic thing that I do. I can't help it. It's just what I do. And yet at the same time, like a shaman isn't really part of the tribe. They sit on the edge of the tribe and watch. And that's why you have to go to the shaman. The shaman doesn't go to you. It's not like the shaman goes, shaman services, you guys need anything today? Just shaking some rattles, throw the bones, what do you need? Nope. You got to come to us. It's how it works, right? So that's why I keep making myself available, and certainly working on YouTube and having the Facebook group has been a delight for me. But, when I turn off the cameras, the gods are like, okay, now here you do this. And then, for example, when we get into this golden question this morning, the tears that came last night and this morning, where I really thought, well, that might be what triggered some of this migraine too. Like, I really thought my eyeballs were going to fly out of my head. The tears came so strong where I almost, do you ever cry so hard you almost couldn't catch your breath? That's where I was. And there's this lovely voice inside of me that goes, there's more? Right? There's more. I thought y'all wrung me out. But then again, being an empath. So what I would like to do is do a little prayersy-waresy with you all, set ourselves up so that we can approach this retrograde in Jupiter, which we are already in a more, I don't want to say positive, because positive and negative doesn't feel the same for me like it used to. Positive thinking feels like emotional bypassing, so I'm not into that anymore. I was, I guess, because I didn't know better. Now I do. But from perhaps a more higher elevated way of looking at it, right? So whether it's positive or negative, that's up to us, how we want to see that. But overall, we can crew together on this one. Cool. So get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in for a couple of minutes. We're not doing anything too heavy duty, at least in the prayer. But when that golden question hits, you'll be like, thanks, Mal. But you can thank Matt Kahn, because he's the one who posted the question, posited, I should say, the question. Breathe. And I would recommend, well, breathing in general, I think it's a good idea, considering it is as fundamental as it gets. People talk about necessities of food, clothing, and shelter. I would add breath to that. To maybe take a good 30 seconds or so. Just give yourself a breathing break. That breath is our source of well-being, because without it, we don't do very well. And I'm doing the water breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Oh. Allowing yourself to settle down a little bit, eyes open or eyes closed. Allowing the nervous system to unwind a little. The blood to flow a little. Our minds to relax a little. And Stevie Nicks to rock a little. From this place I offer this prayer. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, yet another retrograde has come. So now we're looking at Pluto, Saturn, Venus, Jupiter, and Lord knows what other ones I might have missed. So we really ask for your guidance and grace. The children that we are, right? No matter what our age, we are still in the incubation stages of the ego, the soul, peeking out from behind the clouds in this time of challenge, giving us the encouragement and glimpses into the truth of who we are. So we ask to surrender this time, this brief moment that we share here together with you, to you, that it may serve a higher purpose, because we're here only to be truly helpful for our own lives, for each other, the new friends that we are making here, for the well-being of all. We are here only to be truly helpful to that. So we really shouldn't have to worry about what to say or what to do, though we do, because we can trust, though we may not every moment, that you who have sent us here are directing us. So let us be content to go wherever you wish today, knowing that we will be healed as we are being taught to heal. Please show us what you would have us do, where you would have us go, what you would have us say all day long, and even in this conversation, that we may fulfill our roles in the divine plan, that we may heal what needs to be healed, that we may feel what needs to be felt, that we may participate in the divine plan. That as we heal, all heal, and as we love, all are loved, and all that jazz. And that we may view these retrogrades as great opportunities, though we don't understand how to use those opportunities necessarily. But that's why we're here, right here and right now, to ask, show us. We're willing. I'm willing to surrender. I surrender myself every day, and yet still there is more striving than thriving to just survive. So with your guidance, with your grace, may we be open more and more and more to receive that which you would have us receive, both in the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, and certainly in the mystical, that we may grow, that we may heal, that we may become the best that we can be. Fulfill our roles in the divine plan. Walk the golden timeline, and now asking a golden question for our well-being and for the well-being of all. Thank you. So mote it be, and so it is. Yeah. 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 He did it again. Oops, I did it again. That's a double. Hi. So I did some research into Jupiter retrograde. And, you know, there's the standard ones there that feel a little old and crusty dusty. See, the thing is that almost all of the astrological stuff is based on the illusion of separation. Yet the only way that astrology would have any effect on us is because of unity, right? The law of unity, that we're one with it, right? The vibes and all of that, right? So retrogrades and all of that, the old definitions are that they're old and they're really fear-based, and they don't feel right intuitively, not just emotionally. I mean, emotionally, they've never felt right. They've never felt good. Let's put it that way. But to really interpret them from a different place. So I read something today that I wasn't expecting to read, and it's specifically about this Jupiter retrograde that we're going through May 2020. And it's about seeing things from a higher perspective, not necessarily about loss. It's forever been, as long as I have studied astrology, that Jupiter retrograde truncates expansion, right? Because Jupiter's planet of expansion, that it would be about contraction, right? So a certain amount of loss. Now, there's always going to be a certain amount of loss in our lives. I mean, you want to lose problems, right? The loss isn't such a bad thing. And that without loss, there's no gain. Without erosion, there's no renewal. It's just the nature of this world. That once a fire has finished burning, a new path is revealed, so to speak. Matt Kahn mantra deck. So to see things from a higher perspective, right? To see a larger picture. And I think where we are globally, we're doing that anyway, but maybe now, because Jupiter is an air planet, it's going to do something for the group mind, not just our individual intellectual, intelligent processes, but the group mind, the great mind, maybe even the divine mind, seeing truth on a much larger scale. Like, for example, there's an awful lot of deception going on the planet right now. Have you noticed? Now, I'm not into conspiracy theories at all. Conspiracy theories are fear-based, so it's usually the interpretation of the ego anyway, and usually none of it's true. There may be some grains of truth here and there. People lie. But if you understand why people lie, that's the ego, right? The soul never needs to lie because the soul knows everything's working out for us. Everything's happening for us, not to us. Everything is here to help us, right? And that leads into exploring the golden question. Highly recommend this book. Look, I highly recommended Matt's last book, The Universe Always Has a Plan, because it was simple. Oh, it wasn't necessarily easy, but it was simple. This book is neither simple nor easy, but I am really benefiting from it. So chapter 6 is called The Golden Question. I don't know if you can see that. The Golden Question, a whole chapter on it. And, I'm not going to read you every page of this because that's copyright infringement. But okay, I am going to read you the question, and you're not going to like it. So prepare yourself. You're not going to like the question. Well, let's put it this way. The ego isn't going to like the question. The ego is going to resist it because the ego doesn't know the answer. So as soon as I read the question, first of all, don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the Mallinger. Don't do it. Or Salinger, for that matter. The soul has the answer. Let me read I will read the beginning of the chapter where he actually asks the question. Maybe that'll give a nice gentle lead in, maybe lube us up a little bit. Exploring the golden question. One of the 5 stages of surrender is the golden question. As always, when contemplating such an energetically encoded inquiry, now just stick a pin in that for a moment, right? Energetically encoded inquiry. It's a question that has certain energies written into it, like password codes, right? When contemplating, not just asking, not just thinking, contemplating, running it through the energy system, such an energetically encoded inquiry, it isn't a matter of searching for an answer. It's more centered in feeling. With openness, silence, serenity, and expansion, we can listen, consider, and reflect on the wisdom of the golden question. The golden question can be asked as a daily spiritual practice or applied during moments of stress. I've done it both ways so far. No matter how it is called to be applied, it assists us in unhooking from the burden of victimhood by considering a viewpoint that only the soul can see. The golden question invites us to consider, are you ready? 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 That's not the question. This is the question. Breathe. You're not going to like it. What if the worst things that have ever happened to me were the greatest opportunities I have ever been given? What if the worst things that have ever happened to me were the greatest opportunities I have ever been given? And already my ego is like, let me count the ways how much I hate that. Because they were the worst things that have ever happened. Not just the, oops, I stubbed my toe. That happens. The worst things that have ever happened. Like I can give you a list. Just in the past 3 or 4 years, I can give you a list. And you'd all go, oh my God, that happened to you? And that's why, you know, I have my sense of humor. It's like, that's why I'm a good spiritual teacher. I've been to hell and back so many times. I have the River Styx speed pass, right? I don't have to pay the ferryman every time. Karen and I we're tight. Karen, the ferryman. Don't pay the ferryman. Don't even fix a price. Don't pay the ferryman until he gets you to the other side. Krista Berg. Also sang Lady in Red, which I think shows quite a bit of lyrical range. What if? What if the worst things that have ever happened to me were the greatest opportunities I have ever been given? And I'm going to say why I think this is timely, for me at least, as a spiritual teacher. And like I've said hundreds of times before, spiritual teacher teaches by example, shares what works for them. That makes us all spiritual teachers to an extent. Why right before Mercury retrograde? Oh, like that. Please, no, not yet. Right before Jupiter retrograde, literally the night before Jupiter retrograde, that I would get to that chapter. It's all scripted for me to have read that so that I can not just ask that question, but share it. Now, the first thing that came to mind when I read that was about having to let go of my precious farm boy. Oh my God, the tears. The tears. Like, it was like it had just happened. Like I had just told him, I can't do this anymore. I will not be the other man. You need to be single. You need to have your own place, and you need to have a steady job. Like, those are the boundaries for anybody walking into my life right now, right? Well, and Shavonda, sorry, my Shavonda. Oh, God, this game is getting to me. If you're not familiar, every time I thwarp a fan, every time I sing spontaneously out of nowhere or work a song lyric into the conversation, I have to take a sip of water. It's not really doing the Pavlov thing, is it? I honor that. The worst things have opened doors for the greatest things to happen to me. I know that in my own life, looking over my shoulder. But then you look at where we are right now, and it's hard. It's about giving up victimization. I would rather be the victor, as in the spoils of victory go to the victor, the spoils of war go to the victor, the triumph, overcoming, than play the victim any day of the week. But the victim archetype is one of the 4 survival archetypes that everybody has. So obviously something woven in here. And though intellectually, I can see that. The ego can play that game. Oh, yes, I can see that. Oh, yes, I can see that. And yet, while we're going through it, and we're going through it, we are going through it. There is so much corruption being exposed right now, and better exposed than hidden, right? There are so many people crossing over. There is so much grief and sadness and loss on so many levels going on. And if you were to say to somebody, what if the worst things that are happening to you are the greatest opportunities you've ever been given? I think they would be justified in punching you in the face. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not something you say. Yes, sucks while you're going through it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? It's hard to see it, well, and it does get better, right? Absolutely. But here's why I'm tying this into today's chat instead of yesterday's or last week's or last month's. This Jupiter retrograde might be the divine timing cue to say, now's the time to ask that golden question. Because if some of you are really new, I talked about the golden timeline before. Let me reroute a little bit. We will come back to this question. I was given a glimpse of not just the golden timeline, but what the golden timeline is. Because the highest probabilities, the highest possibilities come to pass whether we envision them or not. In other words, creative visualization is lovely and all, but we are going to get the highest vibrational experiences, the best quantum probabilities, the highest possibilities are going to come to pass for the evolution of our souls and not for the pleasure and comfort of our egos. In fact, Matt Kahn posted that meme yesterday that I laughed so hard. He says, you are a co-creator of your reality, but your ego is not part of that. I laughed. I was like, yep. Because you know what my ego wants? My ego wants Farm Boy to snap out of it, break up with the guy that he's in, because he's not in love with him. He's trapped in a codependent relationship. Wants him to get healthy. Wants my contact lens to start spinning in my eye. Thank you. Wants him to find his own place, get a new job, because chances are, well, he was in retail, so chances are he doesn't have a job anymore. And then come to me with his heart and his head in hand saying, I am sorry, my beloved, how silly of me. I love you, marry me. Or let me take you out to dinner, which would be better at this point, right? Absolutely sucks. Yes, thank you very much. I would also like for my numbers to skyrocket on YouTube, because there are people who have been reading in a lot shorter amount of time career-wise who they posted a video 2 days ago, they've got 10,000 views. I'm like, how does that happen? How does that happen? Now, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. I don't watch other readers. I did in the beginning because I wanted to see how this thing worked. I understand there's a way to pay for that sort of thing, but I'm not doing that. I don't want to pay somebody or some thing to rig my numbers. That's not fair. I have to walk the golden timeline. What is the golden timeline? The highest, right? The only way. I'm past everything but PTSD. Can we make that a t-shirt? I'm past everything but PTSD. That is so wonderful. That's like instant gratification isn't fast enough. Carrie Fisher, by the way, postcards from the edge. Yeah, right. On quality, right? It's like I am a master empath. Trust me. That's why my readings stick. Like you can go back and look at my readings and go, yeah, no, he was right on. Because mine comes certainly, repetition is the mother of skill, but it also comes from my connection to the divine, my pantheons, right? I work with them. They keep me alive, in other words. That I am still here means I ain't done. Although this contact lens is working my last optic nerve. What's going on there? Probably a piece of cat hair in there doing the contact lens. There we go. There we go. Excuse me while I blink at you. I'm not flirting. I'm trying to... There we go. Kind of, sort of. Yay! There we go. All of a sudden, it wants a career of its own. Please stop contacting us. Thank you. What was I talking about? Oh, of course I would like that. My ego would like that. Why? Because every time someone watches a video that's monetized, I get some pennies from it. Every time you super chat me here, you pay me, I make more money, so that I can say to my backers, thank you so much. You've all been wonderful, but I got this, right? I would love to be able to take a vacation, but I can't take a vacation. Now, I just don't mean a day off. Like I can take a day off. But I haven't been on a legitimate vacation. Even when I travel to Saratoga to see my family, I bring all my tech with me because I have to keep working. And yet then there's but Mark, you really need to take more time for yourself. It's like, no. But if everything is here to help me, and I do believe it is, and by the way, that's not a new concept to me. Remember, I'm a teacher and student of Course in Miracles for decades, right? Nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. Wonderful line. May all things be exactly as they are. May all things be exactly as they are. Perfect iambic pentameter, a way of saying even this is for my benefit, right? But what if the worst things that have ever happened to me, get the wording right, What if the worst things that have ever happened to me were the greatest opportunities I have ever been given? Well, then that means that this has all been in preparation for me to be on, as I believe I am now, what's called the golden timeline. There are infinite number of timelines because there are an infinite number of quantum variations streaming forth from every moment. I did a lovely meditation, I think about a week or so ago, maybe longer, where we saw all of these lines coming out of the chakras and shooting off into the future and shooting off into the past. But there was one where all the, like one thread, one line from each chakra wove together and became golden and shot off into the future. And that's the one where not necessarily that we get what we want from the ego's point of view, but that we develop the fastest in the soul, and that the majority of us survive all of this. And I just don't mean the majority of us in this room or that the people that we like. I mean the majority of people, because there is an accelerated spiritual awakening that moves us into fifth dimensional unity consciousness, where, you see, here's the thing about unity consciousness. You know you're one with everybody. Now, that's the empathic piece that the first wave is dealing with, because we're feeling everybody's everything. So why in the world would we inflict harm on somebody? See, I'm not Wiccan, but I still work the Wiccan read, because in 8 words the Wiccan read fulfill, and ye harm none, do what ye will, out of self-interest, right? Oh my God, honey, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, Malenka, what a heartbreak. I am so very sorry that you lost your son back in June. Oh, please feel my love. Feel my love. My mom lost a child before I was born, and still to this day she won't talk about it. That's pain. I'm so sorry. I can't even conceive. The closest I've ever come to that is having one of my cats cross over, and you're supposed to outlive your cats and your dogs and your animals, otherwise it's not fair. Oh my God, my God, my God, my God, my God. I am so sorry. See, and that you are even willing to see the blessings that came from that. I don't know why I'm trying to hold back tears. I'm going to cry my ass off. I am so empathy, empathy. All of your emotions are inside of me. Oh, Jesus. Got to keep my sense of humor, otherwise I will cry all day long. I love you so much. I had no idea, Malenka. Oh, your cat died after 2. Oh my God. That you know, that's the thing about unity consciousness. There would be no more war. There would be no more war, because people would get, oh, we're one, so let's knock it off. There'd be no more crime. There'd be no more rape. There'd be no more murder. There'd be no more, well, there would probably still be illness and disease, but there would be immense compassion. And I think that's why we're going through what we're going through on the planet right now, that really the golden timeline is not about an absence of pain and challenge. No, that's what the ego's version of it is. Oh, a life where we all have all the money we need, and we're with our soulmates, and all of our chakras are clear, and we never have any problems ever. I don't think that's how it goes, because I think problems are a perception, right? The ego has problems, the soul has opportunities, which right now sounds like a horrible bumper sticker. But my God, that you can survive that and share that with us, Malenka, I think, good God Almighty, bless you, woman, bless you. And I am serious. I hope I make so much money on YouTube that I can fly us all to, I don't know, some hotel with a bar and a restaurant somewhere, so that we can all meet each other and have a few drinks and hug each other, maybe even just for a 48-hour stopover, you know. My God, I want to hug you all so much. That's so frustrating, I guess, because it could be so easy, as you're saying. Yes, it could be so much easier. But then you turn on the news and you see the insanity. But that is the ego unraveling. And my guides are like, Mark, what you're seeing on planet Earth is the golden timeline. Now, I said this before. I've said this in a much more direct way to people on the phone, right, and in video chats. I'm still spiritually counseling people pretty much every day. Not always getting paid for it, because what am I going to do if someone's like drowning and say, well, you know, if you pay me $100 an hour, I'll be glad to help you. No, I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to do that. The only way that I can walk and stay on the golden timeline is to walk the high road. And you know the high road. It ain't easy, the high road. It means living according to your highest truth and ethics. Not easy. That's why I had to let go of Farm Boy. Couldn't do it. It was torturing me anyway. But you know what? You know what made me cry the hardest last night? And this morning, still in love with him. Still. Set my third eye on fire. So over it, and yet not, right? So we're all going through so much pain. Wait, hold on. You make it easy, Mal. You have been a saving grace through my heartache. Well, bless you. I'm gonna cry my eyes out. Yes, after I have my baby. Oh, hug to you. You're preggers. Oh, see, we don't know these things about each other. Oh my God, I really want to hug you all. Here we go. Put your arms out like this if you can, unless you're holding your phone. What the crap, you people. Oh, I pity the poor fool that comes into the room today and starts bad mouthing. They're not going to last very long. Evil, wicked, mean, and nasty. So, I mean, that is what I recommend. Walking the high road is the golden timeline, and yet we are watching such horrific numbers. We are watching horrific actions and horrific inactions. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call it out on YouTube. Why? Because I'm trying to keep a safe space here. I'm not interested in offending anybody. Thank you very much. But at the same time, we are living through a horrific time, right? We are living through such a time of transformation. That's why I'm saying we are in the crucible. Now, there have been prophecies in the past that have spoken of a time that it would be called the pulling of hair and gnashing of teeth. I'm not pulling my hair. It took me long enough to get it to look like this. We're in it. We're in it. If this is not the end days, if this is not the end times / this great spiritual awakening, I don't know what is. I just know that I've been preparing my whole life for this. So our lives are important. Now, every life is important, but chances are those of us that are crewing together here, that are doing the work, that are walking the spiritual path, the first wave of ascension is essential. We are laying the energy grid. We are clearing the energy field so that the second wave and the third wave can follow behind. We are doing the empathic stuff. So I know it's hard. I know it's ridiculously hard what we're going through right now, considering 2/3 of the planet do not necessarily have the emotional intelligence to allow themselves to feel what they're feeling, love what rises, love themselves, etc., etc. They just don't. That's how it's written. And the eighth dimensional gods, guides, whatever you want to call them, view everything we're going through as past history, that we all get through this, but that there is that golden timeline. There is another timeline where the planet Earth is a burnt out husk because certain buttons were pushed, and I don't mean personal ones. Certain keys were turned. And we are in a winter, an Anna Wintour, no, blessed be Anna Wintour. A winter that is, well, it's not uptight, it's not unattractive. Turn it on tonight. It's radioactive. Radioactive. Yeah. I was shown that one. Oh, I'll take this one. Why? Because I can still get DoorDash in this one, right? So that that version of Mark, probably not alive, along with the model, the actor, the dancer, the rock star, gone, right? They don't exist anymore. They didn't make it. But this one's still here, and you are still here. So we are all making our way through this, but we're doing it through awakening to unity consciousness, fifth dimensional unity consciousness, oneness. But that means the ego has to dissolve and be integrated into the soul. That's why you got to love what you're feeling, right? So that not only do we all make it into the golden timeline, but that golden question, in case you're unfamiliar with what the golden question is. Oh, allow me to read it again. What if the worst things that have ever happened to me were the greatest opportunities I have ever been given, which then translates into this present moment? What if the worst things that are happening to everyone right now are the greatest opportunities we've ever been given? And then how do we take advantage of those opportunities? The ego doesn't know. The soul does. So what do we have to do? We have to respect what we're feeling and respect what others are feeling. We have to acknowledge what we're feeling and acknowledge what others are feeling, perhaps even silently. And we have to welcome what we're feeling, and as well as welcome what others are feeling. That doesn't mean we have to stay in toxic situations of abuse, neglect, and codependency. No. We can have our boundaries. We can follow our guidance and our grace, and believe me, I wish it was so much easier for people in this particular time to walk away from toxic, painful, abusive, neglectful relationships. But where are you going to go? Right? Where are you going to go? I get it. I don't know if any of you are watching Cuomo every day. I have been. It starts usually around 12 p.m. So I jump off of here and I go watch him. But he says, of course, there's been a rise in substance abuse and domestic abuse because people can't get out. And that's just New York. I can only imagine around the world. But then if our role is, okay, like I've got it good then. I mean, really, the ego will also judge and say, well, we've got it better than most people. And it's true. I live alone. There's nobody yelling at me, telling me what to do. Now I'm doing a good job of that myself. But a huge opportunity for us here to heal what we're healing and feel what we're feeling. Thank you so much, Mackie Haas. A card for Mackie, please. That's it. You give me a $10 super chat. New rule. Bill Maher, new rule. Please, one for Mackie. What's an angel, a goddess, or a god for her? Please, please, please. Just for today, even. The angel of communication. Communicate clearly. Don't be afraid to tell it like it is. Woo, girl. You got the angel of communication. There you go. You give me a $10 tip. A dollar make me holler, but a $10 tip make me trip. Woo! And you see, that's such an emotional trigger for me, but it's a really fun trigger. Dealing it big time. Keep in mind, by the way, I'm doing this all sober. Like, I have friends out west that are just greening it 24/7, 365. Love some. But no, ain't got it. Don't got the money for it. No, even though I live alone. I have alcohol in this house that I could be blotto. Not the high road. I got to walk the high road. I got to walk the high road. Thank you so much for that super chat and the Huggy Fox thing. But I said I was going to do a meditation. Let's do a meditation. Let's get out of our bodies for a moment and go up into the stars, shall we? We're going to run over an hour. I don't care. Please get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in for a couple of minutes. Close thine eyes and breathe. And do get yourself comfortable and stable in a stable position. And I ask our collective pantheons of guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, and ancestors to please support us in this meditation that we may successfully pull back far enough to see clearly, to see the larger picture for the well-being of all. And just as you breathe and relax, imagine your energy field like petals of a flower. The petals begin to loosen and peel back, right? Like the blossoming of a flower. A petal behind, a petal in front, to the left, to the right, diagonally, just gently relaxing and pulling back. allowing our awareness to float freely as now the hand of God, the hand of Goddess appears right before you, a big hand that your awareness can now kind of hop into the palm of the hand and be carried up through the roof, passing right through it, up through the sky, watching planet Earth shrink beneath us in the safety and comfort of the hand of the divine. And how beautiful the planet is. Like perfect clockwork, the planets just turn how they're supposed to turn in their orbits. Planets turning on their axes, the moon in her orbit around Earth, moving into Pisces later tonight. And telescoping in, we can see that there are people helping, and bless them. May the people who are helping, may the helpers be blessed, may the healers be blessed. The energy healers, look at all the first wavers, like see all the little points of light as the planet turns. All those light workers, all those divine feminines, all those empaths. God, 1/3 of the population. We are everywhere. Oh, we love you. I love you. Keep going. And look at all the people who have crossed, who are hanging out here watching with us. Oh my goodness gracious, hi. And the ones who crossed a while ago and haven't incarnated yet, but are still watching because they get to watch the greatest show on earth called Earth 2020. And around us are our guides, our masters, our teachers, our gods, our goddesses, our saints, angels, totems, healers, and our ancestors, all in spirit form watching. And they're always watching, and they're watching us too. We ask them, what if this incredibly painful, tumultuous, challenging time, the worst thing that has ever happened in our lifetimes, is the greatest opportunity we've ever been given? How do we do that? How do we use this opportunity? The greatest opportunity we've ever been given as a species in modern history. How do we play our role here? And the answer I hear is just keep loving. When you find yourself hating, love the part of you that's hating, let it unwind, and then love those you hate, right? Bless your enemies. All the stuff you've known all along to do, just be the real you. Even when your cat is coughing up a hairball. And when you call it out, it stops. Send love to this planet. Right now, breathe it into your heart and breathe it out to the planet. I love you, Mother Earth. I love you, Father Sky. I love you, all the men, women, and children, no matter your political leanings, what country you're in, your gender preference, your race, any of that. I love you. Please be okay. Please walk the golden timeline with us, that we may all heal, that we may all grow, that we may become the best that we can be, fulfilling our own divine missions, fulfilling the divine plan individually and collectively for our well-being and for the well-being of all. Thank you. And now drop down. Let the hand of God, the hand of Goddess, the hand of the divine bring you back down. Down through the atmosphere, watching the planet get bare underneath us as we come down into our homes or wherever we are, dropping us back into our bodies. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Now as you're ready, open your eyes and come back into the room. It's a good thing I didn't have any makeup on yet. Thanks, Dad. Well, a lot went on when my eyes were closed. If you could pray for me and my family to have some peace and cooperation. It's been really rough here. Absolutely, Dee. And please post that request in the Facebook group as well. Thank you all so much for watching today. For the super chats, greatly appreciated. And again, just check and see if you're still a subscriber, if you're still subscribed to my channel. If they're automatically just unsubscribing people, it's kind of not fair, but nothing I can do about it except putting out the best content that I can. And I'm going to make more videos today, but really hit the notification bell because I'm not staying on a schedule anymore. If I put out something at 5 a.m., I put out something at 5 a.m., and that's just how it rolls. Cool, cool, cool. I love you all so much. Really, I don't know how I would get through this without you. Well, probably some major meds would help, but since that's not on my menu, you have all been just so wonderful and so loving and so compassionate. And I gotta go have a good cry, but a good cry. Tears of love kind of cry. I'm down for that. I'm both up for that and down for that. And I'm hydrated, so I should be fine. I'll see about tonight. I will let you know if I'm up for it for another stream tonight, but keep that question in mind today as things go. Daily spiritual practice or as things rise. What is it again? Just so that we get the verbiage. What if the worst things that have ever happened to me were the greatest opportunities I have ever been given? Well, what if? What if? Let's see. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of the rest of this day, my darlings. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be. Ciao, bene.